Hello, good viber, and how are you doing today? It is your girl Esther Joy coming at you with a new video. And on this channel, we love to talk about love, light, joy, and peace. As you can see, my pup Jedi has joined us today, and we are going to be talking about some wonderful countdown exercises you can do to help you manifest and really get that extra motivation you may be needing in your day-to-day life to just go through with those things that you want and need to do. So I have two countdown techniques I'm going to be talking about today, and they both can be utilized for various things. But first I wanted to talk a little bit about the power of counting down and what that does for your subconscious mind. So I want to start off by quickly saying that through my years of being a swim instructor, I used to teach a lot of kids, and it was really common for us to count down before we dunked them underwater. And we would dunk them rather quickly right before we reached that end number, whether, we're counting down from 5 before we reach 1. We would dunk them then. And maybe if you've ever gotten a shot and they've counted down, then you kind of know what I'm talking about. Now, why do we do this? Why do we count down? I would like to say it's to brace ourselves. It's to make our subconscious aware that something is going to happen, almost like when a rocket is launched and they count down from there. But more importantly, if we look into more deeper subconscious communication, such as hypnosis, they use counting down in numbers very often to show a progression throughout the subconscious mind. And this is very important to know. We can use this knowledge and apply it to our everyday life to help communicate with our subconscious mind when we need to do a certain task or focus on a certain, energy. So without further ado, I wanted to just remind you that you are this infinite spiritual being that is capable of the impossible. So with that being said, do not limit yourself with whatever you were thinking had to be the way it had to be. Now I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent. Let me share with you now some of the ways that I use counting down in my own life to really help me. And we're going to start off with a technique I've already mentioned in another video that I got from the 5-second rule. And as you can imagine, you are counting down from 5 to 1 to get yourself to physically move your body towards fulfilling that task that you have intended for. I find that if you haven't read the 5-second rule, I highly recommend it. I'll try to link a playlist to the audiobook I found here on YouTube, so you can listen to that if you'd like, but it's by Mel Gibson, I believe, and it's fire. It's really great, and the big takeaway is counting down from 5. And this is very powerful. You're giving your body a literal sense of urgency and time to act upon whatever your intention was. And this really clears the way of any procrastination, of any doing, I'm gonna do this after I do this. It really just gives a sense of urgency and helps you the more that you practice counting down from 5 in your everyday life. And I'll give some examples now of how I've applied it to my life and how it's helped me. The stronger and more powerful it becomes. So I like to use the 5-second rule as soon as I wake up and I hear my alarm. I give myself 5 seconds to turn off my alarm. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I usually find by the time I reach 3, I'm already out of my bed and I'm going towards that. Not only does the 5-second rule give your brain an opportunity for a small allotted amount of time to think about what action you are going to take and what it's going to look like, when you take that action. But it also almost like motivates you and gets your prefrontal cortex, the beautiful brain juices flowing towards achieving and fulfilling that task. So I've used it in my mornings to turn off my timer. I use it in my morning to get out of bed. I use it in the mornings as well when I'm walking my dog to get myself dressed and ready to take him. And it also has been very useful when it comes to me and procrastinating. I am a university college student, so sometimes I realize I have a lot of tasks that I have to accomplish and fulfill. And using the 5-second rule has really helped me just stop procrastinating and watching another video on YouTube or TikTok, but just literally count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, phone off, brain on, open up my work for that day. So it really has helped me just kind of give me that little kick I need sometimes to be reminded that, hey, no one else is going to tell me to do this. I need to do this. Let's get it done. So that is the number one way that I have used counting down to my advantage when it comes to just living a more productive and, I would even say, funner life. I do really enjoy counting down. I think it just brings me back to childhood for whatever reason. Now, the next way that I have used counting down to my advantage is for manifestation purposes and visualization. So this is called the 17-second rule. I don't think it's actually called that, but I'm calling it that now. So at me if it's someone else came up with it already. But the 17-second rule pretty much says that you need to spend at least 17 seconds fully immersed and focused on the energies of your manifestation that you are wanting to invoke for it to, have an opportunity, a window big enough to come into your reality. So with the 17-second rule, I should say, there's a few ways that I incorporate this in my life. Whenever I see the number 17, and I immediately think about my biggest manifestation goal, which for me is more of a feeling at this moment. It's not really a physical object or anything like that, but hey, if you're trying to manifest a yacht with like all of your friends and family on it, then you could just envision that for 17 seconds and really think about the energies that would be present. The important thing when you're doing this task is not so much as the time, but it's about how much can you amplify the feeling of that manifestation during that time. I want you to think of it as you're almost pulling the trigger to a gun that is just rapid firing for 17 seconds, and every single bullet is just another aspect of that manifestation for you. Now, when I first learned about the law of attraction, the 17-second rule was something that I did try, and I was very skeptical at first. So I wanted to manifest $1, and I visualized for 17 seconds. And if you've been following me, I do talk about this in a previous video, and I go much more in depth. But pretty much I didn't find $1 at that time when I was in uni until I got home later that day and walked my dog and saw $1 on the ground, and I realized that I was feeling the same feelings I had been focusing on during that 17 seconds. So again, I have a whole video about that, so I'll try to put that, somewhere in the description or at the end screen if you're interested in hearing that story. But the 17-second rule has been very powerful for me when it comes to visualization and practicing visualization, practicing tapping into and attuning my energy to what I am wanting to create in this reality. And for me, it definitely is more about how I feel. How do I feel? What do I feel? You know, it's not really what am I looking at, but a part of visualization. It does help to have, you know, for me, it's more of a color and the feelings of the colors that I'm seeing. But every person visualizes differently, and maybe I'll do a video on that. If you would like me to do a video on that, then comment down below so I know so. But without further ado, yeah, the 5-second rule is great for boosting your willpower and getting yourself to do those things that you need to do and stop procrastinating. And the 17-second rule is a great way to visualize what you are intending to manifest. And the more that you practice this, and again, as I said, now whenever I see the number 17 wherever I go, I know that that's not only a sign that what I have been visualizing for those 17 seconds is coming closer to me, but it is also a sign for me to practice my visualization there and now. So I really do hope that you try these techniques out. I would love to know in the comments down below if you've heard of them and if you have tried them out and what your experiences were with them. And without further ado, fam, have an amazing day. Hit that like button right now so I know so if you enjoyed this video and found any value in it. And hit subscribe if you haven't already and join the Good Vibe fam. But without further ado, have an amazing